AOC is back at it again. Let's see what she says about Rubio's speech and his view about Western civilization.
So that you alluded to it several times. Marco Rubio outlined a transatlantic relationship based on cultural heritage, Western civilization, Christian heritage. And, well, we could also just call it what it is, white, shared white history. And yet here we are, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez.
This is why, this is the bullshit that pisses me off. So this woman on the right, or this woman right here, she is from Chile. She apparently she left Chile because her dad was part of the communist country or something like that. And now she lives in Germany and she's part of the Socialist Party there. Whoa, communist dad went to Germany, becomes a Socialist Party. Okay, cool. But she's from Chile. AOC is from Puerto Rico, right? And her last name is Cortez. Jeez, I wonder where that comes from. But she said that because Rubio mentioned, and I'll read it again, he mentioned that we are bound to one another by the deepest bonds that a nation could share, forged by centuries of shared history, Christian faith, culture, heritage, language, ancestry. Right? Apparently, that when she translated all that, she meant whiteness. Whiteness. That's all she got out of that. Right? But what is she gonna do with Spain and Portugal? Because those were Catholics, and they too are part of the European history, and they too were the ones that colonized most of Central and South America. And they too are the reason why this woman and Cortez, I don't know if Cortez really speaks Spanish, but those two countries are predominantly for most of Central America, is the reason why this woman from Chile habla español. Porque España, la madre patria de España, conquistó mucho de Centro y Sudamérica. That's the reason why she speaks Spanish. So what whiteness is this woman talking about? Okay, I would love to know, would they consider Spain white? Would they consider Portugal white? And then most of Central and South America are Catholics, right? You do have a huge number of Pentecostals now, that particularly in Central America, but the majority of South Americans are Catholic. The majority of Mexicans are Catholic. And it's crazy to me that even throughout, after the conquista and the liberation and the formation of all these countries, none of them have ever reverted back to the whatever religion was part of those tribes. They have kept the Catholic faith. It just shows you how stupid this conversation is, bro. That these people, they just say things just to say things.
Two women of Latin American heritage, lawmakers in the US and Germany, in a time of democratic stress and global transformation, renegotiating the transatlantic relationship. So what do you think? Are we the transatlantic establishment worst nightmare or bright future?
I don't know about this woman because I don't know her politics like that. But I'll tell you, no one's scared of OAC over here. Like, if they really take a look at it, no one really thinks that Congresswoman Cortez is a threat to anybody. When she talks, she basically just helps us out. And just this alone, right? When she said that, and most of y'all probably seen the X memes and all that, where she said that Venezuela is that we couldn't take it over because, or we couldn't go in there because it's what, below the equator, we can't do anything. But then you literally just have to look at a map, and Venezuela is literally north of the equator line. And then she makes a statement as well that horses apparently came from the Mexicans and the African slaves. Well, the Africans, well, number one, the African slaves didn't bring anything over here, bro. Not animals, at least. And the OAC now understand where the word Mexican comes from, and that the horses had died off on the continent thousands of years before, and that the Spaniards were the ones that reintroduced horses back into the northern continent. But OAC apparently would be the worst nightmare for us.
I also found it to be, great irony because Marco Rubio's Cuban. And you would never know that from how he was like, I am from Spain. And I'm like, hermano.
¿Qué pasa?
You're missing a step there. I think this is
ask Alexander Cortez, how did the people in Puerto Rico learn how to speak Spanish? Can she ask? Does she know the history of how Columbus actually ended up landing not in the mainland? How he ended up landing around in that area? Does she know her own ancestry? Because Marco Rubio ain't wrong, bro. The Spaniards dropped people off in the Cuban mainland, mixed. Same thing with Puerto Rico. Hermano, what, bro? Esta mujer no entiende nada de la historia de la conquista. No entiende nada.
What is so beautiful, right, in that they want this idea that a new world means a denial of our past. There's a very big difference between whiteness and national, like your actual culture.
What? But who's denying it? Didn't she just say, right? And in the last video, you saw it. In the last video, she just said bringing up all this stuff, the church, the Christian faith, the culture, the heritage, the language, the ancestry, all this stuff, the sacrifices that were made by our forefathers. She literally said, if you want to build your value set on these ahistorical nostalgia, whatever, she literally said she wants to replace those values that are literally the heritage of the people, the traditions of the people, and replace it with democracy and respect for international law. She wants to deny them. How can she sit there and say, in one hand, I want to get rid of that, replace it with other values, but then sit here and say, but we don't have to deny that. You literally said you want to get rid of those values because you don't see them. Because the homegirl to your left is basically saying that's whiteness.
Right? Whiteness is an imaginary thing. Being German is real. Being Italian is real. Being English. These are rich cultural heritages that are based on values, and they are so much a part of what make our cultures and our societies what they are. And we are also home to many other communities as well.
All right, so let's do the experiment. So is being Latina or Latino real? Is that real? Or is being Latino or Latina imaginary, but being Mexican, being Cuban, being Argentino, being Guatemalteco, being Chileno, being Brazilian, are those real? Because so the actual term Latino, Latina, imaginary. Being black is not real. Blackness is not real, but being Nigerian, being Ghanaian, being from the Ivory Coast, being from South Africa, being from Jamaica, is that real? Being Asian, not real. There's no such thing as Asian. Not a real thing, Asian. Being Chinese, Japanese, South Korean, North Korean, Vietnamese. Being from Laos, real. So even if she's saying being German is real, being Italian is real, being all this is real, you know what they all fall under? European. So it's being European real. Idiot.
I think that diversity there is an insecurity that exists, and that insecurity is amplified in times of class stagnation.
And she had to bring it in, class. You see how she keeps using these Marxist words?
So it's important to know and connect the cultural dots with the economic conditions. But, I think they are threatened by the fact that
my girl struggles a lot.
They don't have to compete only with themselves anymore, but they have to compete against not just an elite that prevents opportunities to people from working class backgrounds or prevents people based on identity backgrounds, whereas women. But now when democracy opens the doors, it raises the bar for all of us.
Excuse me. She can't escape it though. She's trying to get rid of the value set of the Western civilization, but then she still brings in democracy, a Western value set. A Western value set. She can't escape it. She appeals to the value, one of the values that was brought on by Western civilization. She keeps appealing to it. But in some sense, she wants to eradicate or wants to get rid of Western civilization and all the other notions of it. That's crazy.
And so, they probably are threatened. They probably are scared.
No one's threatened by AOC. No one. Okay? No one. Not much less a woman that couldn't pull up a map before she said something and say, hey, my bad. The Venezuela is actually north of the equator. But here's the issue with AOC, right? A lot of people, and here's the reason that people were clapping, people were and I don't know if they knew. AOC is not really respected in this country like that. She's just young, smiles a lot, and in U.S. politics, sometimes that's all you need is just to smile and just say a bunch of crap. But like I said, in this interview, all you hear is working class. A few times she says revolutionary ideas, power dynamics. These are words that you constantly hear being spread by the squad and a lot of socialist Democrats and those who are embracing a lot of the Marxist communistic views. They think that it's popular, and so now they're trying to bring it to the stage. And it's crazy to me that at Munich, in a country where they understand this, that there a lot of people are embracing it, and they have people like AOC even embracing it even more and saying things like that. But guys, let me know what you think about this video. And what do you think? You think that she really is a threat? You think that people are really afraid of AOC and as a transatlantic threat to the establishment? But let me know what you guys think. All right, I'll catch you on the next one.